Hello and welcome to Obla Air, a Learn English radio series from the British Council. I'm Joan Walker.
And I'm David Evans.
And today we continue our story, the Freeport Marathon.
The captain is trying to raise the profile of Obla Air to create more publicity for the airline. And so he's sponsoring Freeport's first ever marathon. But the preparations haven't been going well.
One problem is that the previous sponsor, the Freeport Juice Corporation, is still getting most of the publicity. But that's not all.
No. As we heard last time, Muzz twisted his ankle and had to drop out of the race. And so the captain decided to run instead, although he's only got 3 days to train for it.
Layla, I tell you what, I'll run with you.
Really? Captain, are you serious?
Of course I'm serious.
But, Captain, there is only 3 days to go. You can't possibly train for a marathon in that time.
I don't see why not. I'm pretty fit.
So will you come training with me tomorrow morning?
Absolutely. I'll see you outside the office at 6 o'clock.
In today's first scene, the captain has a meeting with Sophia Eden-Howe to discuss some of the other problems that Obla Air is having. Sophia is the head of the marathon committee, which is responsible for organising the race. At the start of the scene, she says to the captain,
"Why did you insist on meeting here, in the middle of Market Street?"
And what is the captain's answer to that question? The captain then tells Sophia that he's planning to run the marathon himself. And does Sophia think that's a good idea? And finally, at the end of the scene, what does Sophia tell the captain to do? Let's listen and find out.
Captain, you said it was urgent.
Well, it is urgent.
Then why did you insist on meeting here in the middle of Market Street? The traffic's awful. It is most inconvenient.
Because, Sophia, I wanted to show you something. These posters. Look, our city's first ever marathon, sponsored by the Freeport Juice Corporation.
Oh, yes, I see.
I mean, this is outrageous. We're paying you a large sum of money to sponsor this race. There are only 3 days to go, and you've got the wrong sponsor's name on posters all the way down the main street of this city.
Yes, well, obviously in this case something has gone slightly wrong.
But it's not just in this case. Our office is full of oranges. Runners are being sent Freeport Juice Corporation T-shirts. It's as if Obla Air doesn't exist.
Yes, well, I'm sorry, Captain. These arrangements must have been made before the company went bankrupt. I warned you there might be problems.
What else has been organised that we don't know about?
That is a question I'm afraid I cannot answer. It is not as though I can pick up the phone and speak to someone at the Freeport Juice Corporation. The company no longer exists. Their offices are empty.
Well, these posters have got to come down. All of them. Immediately.
Very well. I'll see what we can do.
Good. I should think so too. Oh dear. Excuse me.
Are you all right, Captain?
I'm sorry. I was up early. Training.
Training? I didn't know you were planning to run, Captain.
No, nor did I until yesterday.
Yesterday? You mean you are going to attempt to run the marathon after just 3 days training?
Well, yes.
Are you sure that's wise, Captain? It's an awfully long way.
You said you wanted people from Obla Air to get involved. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. Now, we want some publicity from you. We've kept our side of the bargain. We expect you to keep yours.
Captain, I understand your concerns. But if you are not getting the publicity you want from our event, frankly, you only have yourself to blame.
What? What do you mean?
I told you to come up with ideas.
Well, we have come up with ideas.
Oh, yes. A few prizes and some T-shirts. Can't you do better than that?
Well, there's the pasta party.
Oh, come on, Captain. This is a great opportunity. The first ever Freeport Marathon, and you are the official sponsor. If you really want to raise your profile, I suggest you stop complaining and start doing something about it. You must capture the hearts of Freeport. It's not too late. There are still 3 days to go until the race.
capture the hearts of Freeport.
So why did the captain want to meet Sophia in the middle of Market Street? He explains.
I wanted to show you something. These posters. Look. Our city's first ever marathon, sponsored by the Freeport Juice Corporation.
The captain is angry about this because, of course, he's paying a lot of money for Obla Air to be the sponsor. Sophia has to admit.
Obviously, in this case, something has gone slightly wrong.
And she agrees that the posters should be taken down. The captain then tells her that he's going to run in the marathon, although he's only got 3 days to train for it. Sophia is not sure this is a good idea. She says,
Are you sure that's wise, Captain? It's an awfully long way.
And at the end of the scene, what does Sophia tell the captain to do?
If you really want to raise your profile, I suggest you stop complaining and start doing something about it.
She continues.
You must capture the hearts of Freeport.
She means they should do something that will get the attention of everyone in the city and will make them all really love Obla Air. And she adds,
It's not too late. There are still 3 days to go until the race. You're listening to Obla Air, a Learn English radio series brought to you by the British Council. And don't forget, you can find more resources at the British Council Learn English website at learnenglish.britishcouncil.org.
The next scene starts with everybody in the office trying to think of ideas to capture the hearts of Freeport. But none of the ideas seem quite right. Then Pavy says,
The Freeport Juice Corporation was going to give free drinks to everyone, right? Well, we could do the same.
But the captain tells Pavy,
We're not a drinks company.
However, Vinny has another idea about drinks. What does he suggest? They are then interrupted by something outside. The captain says,
Mars, can you go and see what that dreadful noise is?
And so who is outside? And why have they come to the Obla Air office? And one more question for you. What does Pavy offer to do at the end of the scene? Let's listen and find out.
Capture the hearts of Freeport, eh?
That's what she said.
But what does she expect us to do?
Well, if the Freeport Juice Corporation can put up posters, we can put up posters too. How about that?
Yeah, but we've only got 3 days. That's not enough time.
We could print some leaflets and hand them out, or put up flags or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
But it's not exactly different or inspiring, is it?
Oh, all right, I know. The Freeport Juice Corporation was going to give free drinks to everyone, right? Well, we could do the same, couldn't we?
Oh, but we're not a drinks company, Pavy.
What about the drink that Betsy's been making?
Betsy's Booster, you mean?
Yeah.
You can't give that to people. It might give you energy, but it tastes horrible.
Well, why don't you mix it with some orange juice? We've got all these boxes of oranges just sitting here, haven't we? We might as well use them.
Do you know what, Vinny? That's a good idea. I'll see what I can do.
But this is still not going to capture the hearts of Freeport. We need something to get people talking. We need them to remember this is not just the Freeport Marathon, this is the Obla Air Marathon. Do you see what I mean? Mars, can you go and see what that dreadful noise is?
Hey, if you're feeling down, chilling in your chair or running around the town, at any time of day, in any situation, get a juice from the Freeport Juice Corporation. If you're feeling up, hey, if you're feeling down,
can I help you?
chilling in your chair or running around the town, oh, hi there.
Yes. What do you want?
You're the sponsors of the Freeport Marathon, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're here with your special Freeport Marathon song.
Just a minute. We are the sponsors of the Freeport Marathon, but we're not the Freeport Juice Corporation, if that's what you're thinking. They went bankrupt. We're Obla Air.
Obla Air?
Mars, what's going on?
Captain, there are 3 girls out here dressed up as oranges.
Dressed up as oranges? What? Oh, not something else from the Freeport Juice Corporation. This is driving me mad. Tell them to go away.
Hang on. Let me talk to them. Have you girls already been paid?
Sure.
Did you hear that, Captain? If they've already been paid, we might as well use them. Don't you think?
Well, yes, I suppose.
Could you sing a song about Obla Air instead?
Well, we don't really know any songs about Obla Air. In fact, we've never even heard of Obla Air. Isn't that right, girls?
Never. Well, all right. I tell you what, I'll write a song for you.
Really, Pavi? Are you sure that's a good idea?
Yeah, we'll sing it for you at the pasta party.
So what idea does Vinny have about drinks for the runners? He asks.
What about the drink that Betsy's been making?
He means Betsy's special energy drink, Betsy's Booster. But Muzz says,
You can't give that to people. It might give you energy, but it tastes horrible.
However, Vinny has another suggestion.
Why don't you mix it with some orange juice? We've got all these boxes of oranges just sitting here.
And, of course, these oranges were delivered to the Obla Air office by mistake a few programmes ago. Betsy likes Vinny's idea, but before they can discuss it further, they hear some singing outside. And who is it? Muzz says,
There are 3 girls out here, dressed up as oranges.
One of the girls explains why they've come to the office.
You're the sponsors of the Freeport Marathon, right? Well, we're here with your special Freeport Marathon song.
But of course they aren't there for Obla Air. They've been hired by the previous sponsors of the marathon. The captain is not happy. He says,
Not something else from the Freeport Juice Corporation. This is driving me mad. Tell them to go away.
But Vinny has another idea.
If they've already been paid, we might as well use them.
And he asks them,
Could you sing a song about Obla Air instead?
Of course, they don't know any songs about Obla Air, and so what does Pavi offer to do? She says,
I'll write a song for you. We'll sing it at the pasta party.
And we'll hear Pavi's song and find out what happens at the pasta party next time.
This is Obla Air, a Learn English radio series brought to you by the British Council.
Now let's remind you of some of the language that we've met in today's programme. In particular, some colloquial expressions. Sophia told the captain that he was responsible for his own problems. Can you hear the phrase that she used to say that?
Captain, I understand your concerns. But if you are not getting the publicity you want from our event, frankly, you only have yourself to blame.
And the phrase that means you are responsible for your own problems is
You only have yourself to blame. You only have yourself to blame.
And in the second scene, we heard the captain use a phrase that means this is making me go crazy. Can you hear it in this clip?
Captain, there are 3 girls out here dressed up as oranges.
Dressed up as oranges? What? Oh, not something else from the Freeport Juice Corporation. This is driving me mad. Tell them to go away.
And the phrase is?
This is driving me mad. This is driving me mad.
But that's all for today. You've been listening to Obla Air, a Learn English radio series brought to you by the British Council. And remember, you can find more resources to help you learn English at learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. Until the next time, from David Evans and me, Joan Walker.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.